Previously, in our switching lab, we used a layer 3 switch to allow inter-VLAN routing between our VLANs. What happens if you don't have a layer 3 switch and you only have layer 2 switches? Here comes the router on a stick to a rescue. Let's check it out. So here we are in the lab, and as you can see, we have our two devices, our layer 2 switch and our router on a stick, stick. We're going to configure these devices like we did before as access ports. And then we need to try and get inter-VLAN communication working. Let's take a look at how we can achieve that. Let's start on the switch. Now this is a layer 2 switch. It has no ability to do inter-VLAN routing. It has no ability to do any IP related tasks. So we're kind of stuck. So let's configure our access ports as we normally would. So switch port, host, switch port, access, VLAN. Getting ahead of myself. Create some VLANs. VLAN 10, name, IT. VLAN 20, name, HR. So now these two machines, int G0/0. So switch port access will be a VLAN. This one on G00 will be in VLAN 10. And int G0/1 will be a switch port host, switch port access of VLAN 20. So show int status. We can see we have G0/0 and 0/1 configured for our access VLANs. Our clients are configured. So if we have a look at our clients, this is PC1 for VLAN 10, PC1 for VLAN 20. So what happens if we try and ping? 20.10. As expected, not reachable. So we go, we need a trunk. That's correct. We need a trunk somewhere. Let's do a trunk here. So in G0/2, we know, trunks carry multiple VLANs. Create the trunk. Switch port. Trunk encapsulation is going to be .1Q. Switch port mode is going to be trunk. So we go, okay, we've created our trunk, created our access ports. Should work now, yeah? Not quite. Still won't reach. Not reachable. You'll now see what we need now is our router on a stick. And it's called a stick, a router on a stick, mainly because it's a router sitting normally on one cable. You'll normally have just one interface at use. Sometimes you could do two if you really wanted to route from one side to the other. But the vast majority of the time, it would be one interface, a trunk interface going up towards the router. Let's jump into the router's configuration interface. And we look at int G00. So we go int G0/0. And you can see we can't do any switch port commands. We can't even create any VLANs on the switch. So if we come out of the interface command, we can't go VLAN. There's no option to create a VLAN. So we have to do it differently. So if we're going to int G0/0, we're going to no shut it. So we're going to bring the interface up. The actual physical interface we're going to bring up. It come up. Now what we're going to do is we're going to create two sub interfaces. And we're going to do that by going int G0/0, which is the interface that I'm on. I'm going to put a dot. Now, I like to name this the same as the VLAN tag. So VLAN 10 and VLAN 20. So I'm going to have .10. And as you can see, that's dropped me into a sub interface. What I can do now is our good old friend encapsulation .1q VLAN 10. I'm now saying that this interface is in VLAN 10. We're going to set an IP address, just like how we did on the layer 3 switch. And we'll do no shut, just to be safe. Now we're going to create our second one, G0/0.20. Encapsulation is going to be .1q. The VLAN tag is going to be 20. I'm going to set an IP address again of 192.168.20.254. 255.255.255.0/24. No shut. Now if we do a show IP int brief, we can see we have our physical interface, which is connected to a trunk port on the switch. We've then created sub VLAN interfaces off of that main physical interface, and we've assigned routable IP addresses. Now if we do a show IP route, just like how on the switch we had VLAN 10, we had subnet 10 and subnet 20, we've now created those with our special sub interfaces on our trunk connection to the router. Now from here, I should be able to ping 192.168.10.10, which is a host over here. So it's coming down this cable. And the funny thing is, if I ping again down this cable, but I ping to the 20 subnet, it's coming down the same cable and over to that PC as well. So this is more of a, this gives you more of a visualization of what's going on when you use a layer 3 switch. You basically have all the switching power here, but it's like having a router sitting inside the switch. So that makes up a layer 3 switch. When you take them apart like this, we end up with a layer 2 switch and a layer 3 router. Now for the prize. We ping from our VLAN 10 over here. We should now be able to reach our PC in VLAN 20. Likewise, I can return the favor. There you go. Traffic is flowing up to the router on the stick, back down the trunk interface, over to the destination VLAN. Likewise on the return. So I hope that helps you understand the difference and the use case between the two different devices, because in the next video series, we're going to be covering more about routing. And routing operates at the layer 3 level. Obviously, like everything in networking, it's redundant on layers below, above, reliant on different encapsulation methods and different protocols. So just like here, we've used encapsulation of .1q again, but we've used it in a different scenario where we've created our sub interfaces and encapsulated a VLAN and put an actual layer 3 IP address. So I hope that helps you understand the power of the router on the stick and how it can get you out of a jam when you're stuck with just a layer 2 switch. So have a good one, and I'll see you on the next video.